Hello Codesmiths, and welcome to TheFunctionForge.com. Today, we're going to dive into the Python syntax, indentation, and general code format, from comments and imports, to the syntax of classes and functions. We will also look at how these components work together to build a Python program. We'll start with Python comments. Comments are a programmer's remarks about what the code is doing. Embedding comments into your code serves as a roadmap, guiding you and others through the logic and function of your script. By explaining the purpose and workings of particular sections, comments enhance the clarity and navigability of your code, making it more accessible for future reference and collaboration. They are ignored by the Python interpreter, meaning they don't affect your code's execution. In Python, we create a comment using the hash symbol. This is useful for creating single-line comments. When we want to create multi-line comments, we have two options. We can either start each line with a hash, which is inefficient if your comment is more than 2 to 3 lines. Or you can use triple quotation marks, which is preferred for longer descriptions, or for documentation purposes and is also referred to as a docstring. Let's talk about the import statement now. It's an incredibly useful feature in Python that allows us to use modules, which are simply Python files that contain functions, variables, and classes. With the import statement, we can use these functions, variables, or classes in our own code without having to write them ourselves. It's like standing on the shoulders of giants. In our code, we're importing the datetime module. This module provides us with functions to manipulate dates and times. Next up is the def keyword, which we use to define a function. A function is a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. We start with the def keyword, followed by the function name and parentheses. The code block within every function is indented, which tells Python what code belongs to the function. Our function, print_date, calls a function from the datetime module to print the current date and time. Now let's look at classes. A class is like a blueprint for creating objects. It's defined using the class keyword. A class can have attributes, like variables, and methods, like functions. In our my class, we have a class variable named my_variable and a method named print_variable. When we want to use a class, we create an instance of the class, which is an object. Each object can have its own values for the class's attributes. In our code, we're creating an object of my class named my_object, and then calling the print_variable method. Now let's touch on a very crucial part of Python syntax, indentation. Unlike other programming languages, Python uses indentation to determine the grouping of statements, which means the spaces at the start of the line matter. Consistent indentation is not only a matter of style in Python, it's a syntax requirement. If you don't get the indentation right, Python will throw an error. Now that we have covered the basics of syntax in Python, let's talk about the structure of a Python file. Starting at the very top of a Python script, it's common to see module-level documentation enclosed in triple quotes. This is where you would provide a high-level overview of the script's purpose and functionality, useful for anyone else reading your code or even for you, if you return to your code after a long period. Following this, you'll find the import statements. Again, import statements are essential because they allow you to use pre-existing modules and libraries, greatly expanding the capabilities of your script. As a convention, these are typically placed at the top of the script. Next, global variables may be defined. These are variables that are accessible anywhere in the script, and not just in the block of code where they are declared. Moving down the script, you'll encounter function and class definitions. The documentation or docstring for a function or a class is done right after its declaration, enclosed in triple quotes. Now we reach the main body of the script, where functions are called, and classes are instantiated as objects. Here lies the main logic and operations of your program. Lastly, you may notice a construct at the bottom of some Python scripts, if name == main. This is Python's version of a main function. Code inside this block will only execute when the script is run directly, not when it's imported as a module. This allows for greater control over what sections of code to execute, depending on how the script is being used. Understanding and following these conventions can make your Python scripts much more readable and well-structured. Beneficial not just for you, but for anyone else who may need to understand your code. And there you have it. Python syntax is unique and designed to be readable and clear. From the simplicity of the import statement to the readability of indentation, Python's design philosophy emphasizes code readability and user-friendliness. Thanks for watching our overview of Python syntax, indentation, and general code format. Don't forget to check back in for more insights with TheFunctionForge.com, and, for quick lessons, check out our Python in 60 Seconds series. Until next time, happy coding!